What's up guys, and welcome back. So today we're going to cover my Shadow Mage's build. We actually got rid of the golem completely. I've been wanting to play this build for some time now, and finally I found the gear pieces that I was looking for to complete it. I have done up to tier 110 in the pit with no Holy Bolt elixir, and this build is definitely capable of pushing further, which I actually plan to do. It also has no problem with tormented bosses. It does great damage and also has great defense. With both elixirs up, I currently have 65,000 health. This build is definitely good for pushing deeper into the pit, and really it's just good all the way around. We will cover everything in this guide. Timestamps will be down below, so be sure to stick around so you actually understand how the build works. If this guide ends up being helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave me a comment down below. I'd really appreciate it. There will be tormented boss gameplay at the end if you want to go ahead and stick around and check that out. Anyways, let's get right into it. Alright, we'll briefly go over the skills that we use in the build. Up top we have the basic skill Reap. We don't use that anymore. We have Blood Mist. Basically this makes us go immune and gets us out of sticky situations. Also we have an aspect that makes the Corpse Explosion go off when we go into Blood Mist, which we'll go over in the Gear and Aspects. Corpse Explosion, basically that's just to proc things, doesn't do damage. Corpse Tendrils, pull enemies into a group, make them vulnerable, slow them down. Decrepify, slow enemies again, make them do less damage, and we do damage because of it. Also we have Army of the Dead. This boosts our damage quite a bit when it's up, resummons our skeletons and makes them immune. And then we have obviously Raised Skeleton down here. Alright, for our summons down here we're going to take the Reapers with the chance to carve off the corpse. We definitely want to have that. That's the strongest one. Now we are a Shadow Mage build, so obviously we're going to go with the Shadow Mages, and then you want to pick the one right here for the Mages, or an additional Shadow every 3 attacks. Obviously that's more damage, we want to go with that. And then for the Golem, we sacrifice the Golem with this build, and we go for the 30% multiplier with critical strikes. Alright, into the Gear and Aspects. Really quickly, make sure to cap off your resistances, they are really important. As you can see, we're sitting at 45k health now. When I run the pits, if I pop these 2 elixirs right here, you're going to see I jump up to 65k. So we have a pretty nice health pool. And then with Fortify and other damage reduction that we have, we're pretty sturdy when it comes to our health pool and how much damage we can take. So anyways though, back into the Gear and Aspects, up into the helmet now. With the helmet, you want to go with Intelligence, Maximum Life, and Cooldown Reduction. Cooldown Reduction is really important. We want to try to get that everywhere that we can. We want our cooldowns going down as quickly as possible. I got Total Armor right there and Decrepify Size. And then for the aspect right there, you want to put the aspect of Hardened Bones. You and your minions gain 25% increased damage reduction, which is really nice. Also get rubies into your gear for maximum life, and then cap off your resistances over here. And then down here, you're going to want to go with the critical strike damage. We have the Blood Getters aspect on our chest right here. Intelligence, maximum life. Don't really bother with the Macabre skills. I mean, yeah, that does impact our Blood Mist and it lowers our cooldown, but you don't have to go with that right there. I do have Total Armor on there, and then Corpse Tendril Size for the temperings. And then, like I said, we want the Blood Getters aspect. Your Skeletal Priest now also empowers you at 70% effectiveness. So, that's boosting our damage, in turn boosting our minions' damage as well. So definitely want to have that right there. Into the gloves, for the aspect, we're going to go with the aspect of the Frenzied Dead. And then you can see right there, basically it gives them a ton of attack speed when they attack, which that's up all the time, especially with the mages. You want to go with Intelligence, Attack Speed, and then Skeletal Mage Mastery. Now, you can get Skeletal Mage Mastery right here and on your pants. For the greater affix though, I got the Skeletal Mage Mastery affix, so I had 3 to start with. And then I hit this once, and then, when you level up your gloves, they will automatically go up 1 level as well. Now, I hit this on the first 4 that I went through leveling it up. What you want to try to do is just keep re-rolling it until you hit it that first time, so at least you're guaranteed that time to hit it to get the +4 with that. And then when you level it up further, you automatically go to the 5. Now, in a perfect world, you could get up to 7 with this, but as you can see, I already have it to rank 12 and I didn't hit again. Only at rank 4, I hit the Skeleton Mastery and boosted that up, so... But, still, rank 5 is pretty good. Down here into the pants now, cover the aspect. You want to go with the aspect of Explosive Mist. Basically, this lowers our Blood Mist cooldown, and it sets off all the corpses below us, which is really nice. That can proc the stuff in our Paragon Board for the Flesh Eater node, and the stuff inside of our skill tree just really good, keeping those corpses going off. And then it also makes it to where the enemies around us are taking damage over time because we have the blighted corpse explosion. You want to go with intelligence, life, and then also once again skeleton mage mastery. Like I said, on the gloves and the pants, it's the only 2 spots that you can get it. Now I waited till I found a pair of pants with the greater affix to get 3 to the skeleton mage mastery, and then I made sure with the first 4 upgrades that I kept re-rolling it until I hit the skeleton mage mastery the first time around, brought it to 4, and then I leveled it up. And as you can see, these aren't even fully leveled. I could still hit this again at 12, which would put it at level 6. And, you know, Skeleton Mage Mastery is a lot of damage for our mages. We want to get that as high as possible. Right now we're sitting at 13 with Skeleton Mage Mastery. And it's a nice multiplier for each level that you boost it up. So really important with the mages. We got total armor. Don't worry about the Iron Maiden. I got unfortunate with that. And, you know, I just had to roll with it. Obviously, I'm not getting rid of these pants. So for the boots, you want to go with the aspect of Occult Dominion. Basically, it's going to give us more mages and warriors, 2 and 2, really important. Get maximum life, movement speed. I got, you know, total armor on there. And then for your tempering, movement speed, and I got corpse tendril size, which you can go up to 100%, and you want to try to on the size. So you want to try to get your corpse tendrils to 100% and your decrepify, you know, as close to 100% as you can. And I'm hitting the 100% with corpse tendrils, and I'm a little bit below with the decrepify, which is not a huge deal, but you at least want to get the corpse tendrils in 2 different spots to hit that 100%. I got extremely lucky with this weapon. This weapon is actually pretty close to like perfect for this build. You want to get the intelligence, you want to get the life. As you can see, I got the greater affixes on those. I rolled in crit strike damage. Now with this build, we are focusing on, you know, critical strikes with our mages. They have like a 95, I think it was, around base crit chance, 95%. So they're pretty much critting at all times. We definitely want to boost our crit strike damage. I think I'm sitting at like 600 or 700% crit strike damage. Right there, you can see I got summoning damage. You would want to get mage damage if you could. I couldn't hit it though. For our tempering, you see the chance for skeletal mage attacks to cast twice. That is the most important stat on this entire build. Okay, because if you think about it, you know, if they're casting twice, if we can get that as close to 100% as possible, that's essentially doubling our damage. That's not like just a multiplier. That's like doubling our damage. I mean, they're casting twice as often. So I got extremely lucky with this. I got a good roll on that to begin with. And then I hit that the first 2 times. As you can see, it's up to 77.9%. Almost, I mean, if you can get close to 100%, that'd be great. But that's super important right there. You want to get that as high as possible. And, you know, you want to re-roll your Masterworks with this as well, to at least try to hit that the first time. I think it'll, with a good roll to initially start, it'll put you like around 60 or a little bit above %. And I got super lucky to hit it the second time around. And who knows? I mean, I could get extremely lucky and hit it the third time. I still have, you know, 2 more levels to go on it. And then possibly I could hit it again, being at really close to 100%. So super important. You want to get that on your weapon. Now, you see I'm using the 2-handed scythe. I like the life on kill, and it does do a bit more base damage. Use the 2-handed sword as the implicit, you will get crit strike damage. I think it's 25 or 35%, which you could use the sword if you wanted to. I mean, like I said, I just went with the 2-handed scythe, but you could use either or. It's up to you. And then really important, you want the blighted aspect on there. That's the most strong aspect on the entire build. You deal 240% multiplicative increased damage for 6 seconds after the Shadow Blight key passive damages enemies 10 times, which is, you know, we keep it up really consistently. So we're doing a ton of damage with that. And the amulet right here, guys, we want to go with the Unyielding Commander's aspect. Basically, when Army of the Dead is up, it's boosting our damage by 150%, which is massive. Our cooldowns are being brought down constantly, especially in those higher pits. I mean, our cooldowns are just, you know, they're cycling super fast. So, you know, Army of the Dead is always up. So we definitely want to have that aspect on our amulet. It gives us the most out of it right there. Now, you see I got life on hit, critical strike chance, Hellbent Commander. Now, you definitely want to get at least Hellbent Commander and crit strike chance. In a perfect world, I would have attack speed right there, which would be the best thing in slot that we could get right there. Unfortunately, this is the best amulet that I have with Hellbent Commander on it. With the amulet, I also, you know, kept re-rolling it with the Masterworking, trying to hit that Hellbent Commander on the first upgrade. And then it will go, you know, up to 4 at least. Now, if I got a greater affix Hellbent Commander on there, that would be at 5 right now. But, you know, I'm sure those are really hard to find. It's hard enough just to even hit that on anything. So, yeah, I have +4 right there. Now, when I fully level this up, I could hit it to 5. If I get lucky, that would be nice. But that you'll see in our skill tree, that's a huge boost of damage when we're close to our minions. So you definitely want to get Hellbent Commander, critical strike chance, and then whatever else you can get on there. And if you're lucky, get attack speed. But you could get more life on there, just whatever you wanted to. For the tempering on here, we're going to go with ultimate cooldown reduction. And, have damage to distant. You would like to go with the mage's damage on there. Definitely try to go for the mages, though, anywhere that you possibly can. Now into the rings, really quickly. So I know with my last video, with my pure summoner golem build, a lot of you guys in the comments said you love using the Ring of Sacrilegious. Well, guess what? So do I. And it's actually back, okay? We can just go ahead and switch this out right here. What we do is switch it out with Grasping Veins. You can do like all content with the Ring of Sacrilegious. It's awesome. Obviously, it casts everything for you. It's kind of like, less buttons you got to push, which is great. I'm all about that myself. Now, I did want to push higher into the pits. And unfortunately, when you go higher into the pits, you definitely want to get the extra aspect and damage and everything else from, a regular ring like this. And, Grasping Veins right there, it's what boosts our minions based crit strike chance up to like 95%, I think, which is what we have. So, really important. But for everything else, you can use this. And I even, with this build, I cleared like pit 102, obviously with no Holy Bolt Elixir, with the Ring of Sacrilegious. So you can still go pretty high pits, but once you start, wanting to blast into like 110 or further, I definitely would not use the Ring of Sacrilegious. Just switch it out, But anything else, you can just go ahead and slap this on there. But anyways, back into the rings. So up here, we have the aspect of reanimation. You can see right there, your minions gain increased damage while alive up to a 40% multiplier. They're always alive. They really don't ever die as much as I'm spamming for a priest. So you want to go with maximum life, attack speed, crit strike chance, ultimate cooldown, and then mage damage right there. I have summonings, not too bad, but you want to try to go with the mage damage anywhere, like I said earlier, that you can. You want that exact setup on your first ring right there. So the life, attack speed, crit chance. Into the second ring, same thing, life, attack speed, crit chance, ultimate cooldown. I have regular damage, which, obviously isn't too bad. Initially, though, you do want, like we talked about, the mage damage. For the aspect on here, we do go with the aspect of Grasping Veins. Now, before I have a million people in the comments saying, oh, that aspect's not working, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I'm fully aware. But, they still get the base crit chance. They don't get the 50% multiplier to their crit damage. It would be nice if they did. But they do get the base crit chance, and that's what's boosting us. And that's the main reason that we use that right there. As for the skill tree up here on top with the basic skill, you got to put 2 points. Just throw them in wherever. Into the core skills, obviously we're not going to use any core skills now. Really quickly, I might actually end up doing this when I push a little bit further into the pit. I haven't done it yet, obviously up till 110 in the pit, but Blight right here, running it back into Supernatural for the 20% multiplier for the minions. That might be coming in the near future. I might switch it over to that, move things around a little bit. For right now, this is how I have it set up though. Right here, we have Blood Mist. Run that back to Ghastly Blood Mist to leave behind more corpses. You want as many corpses as possible at all times. We get 2 ranks from our chest right there. Right here, we take Corpse Explosion, run it back to Blighted Corpse Explosion. We take that overall for damage. You'll see why in the Paragon Board. And then over here, guys, we want to get 3 into Skeleton Warrior. Now, the Warriors, they don't do any damage. They're just meat shields and create corpses for us. But we definitely want to have 3 points into there to boost our life up. 1 into Grim Harvest, down into Fueled by Death. Nice little multiplier for our damage. Down into our curse skills, we are going to take the crap. Back into Aberrant, bring our cooldowns down. Skeleton Mage Mastery, we have it at level 13, which is awesome. Getting a 260% multiplier to their life and their damage. Right here, Death's Embrace, more damage to close. They deal less damage to us. Death's Approach, movement speed, really key. Also, in the higher tier pits, you want to have decent movement speed. It's kind of important. So, definitely take that right there. Amplify damage, obviously more damage for our minions. Right here, Corpse Tendrils, just 1. Back to Plagued for the vulnerable. Now over here, Reaper's Pursuit. I got 2 points in. That's kind of where I put my extra point. Obviously, more movement speed when enemies are damaged with darkness skills. So we definitely want to have that. Gloom and Terror. We definitely want to take these because we're Shadow Mage build, so we want to boost their damage as much as possible. Necrotic Carapace right here. We definitely want to have Fortify. Gives us a 15% damage reduction, and it's up pretty much all the time. Down to our ultimate skill, like we talked about earlier, Army of the Dead. Run it back to Supreme. Nice damage boost because of our aspect on our amulet. You know, and just makes our minions, you know, pretty much unkillable. Helps them out. Makes a bunch of corpses. Really nice. Right here, we're going to go into Inspiring Leader. Now, this gives us a ton of crit chance overall. While you are healthy, you gain increased critical strike chance of 12%, and your minions get 18. But really, your minions are getting 30 altogether because, you know, they're double dipping off of this. They get your crit chance too. So down into Hellbent Commander, we have 4 ranks on our amulet, getting us 105% multiplier right here. Really nice to have. And then obviously for our key passive, we're going into Shadow Blight. Alright guys, we will jump into the Paragon board really quickly. There will be a link in the description. If you want to check this out over on Mobalytics, you can check it out that way. I do suggest you stick around though, and we'll go through everything on the board. Starting off right here in the starter board, guys, we're going to go ahead and throw Amplify. You know, it's giving us a 10% multiplier to cursed enemies, and that goes for our minions as well. When it comes to all of the glyphs that we have, try to get them to at least 15 for the radius and 21, you know, initially for the damage or whatever other benefits that you get. We're going to take resilience down here for all res and maximum life. By the way, we want to get life everywhere that we can on the Paragon board, and we pretty much do. So once again, Amplify right here. We're going to go over here for preservation, knowledge. The next board that we're going to come into will be the Cult Leader board. Now, this is a really important node. Your minions deal 30% multiplicative increased damage for each 20% of attack speed bonus, up to 100%. Huge multiplier. That's why we, you know, invest so much into attack speed on our gear. Definitely want to have that. We're going to run over here, get Custody. We're going to take Overlord. And then right here, guys, we're going to throw in Dead Razor. You know, you can see right there up to a 15% multiplier for our minions damage-wise. Really awesome. You know, we're going to get Puppeteer right here. Infuse Caster. The board that we're going to come into up here is going to be the Flesh Eater board. Huge multiplier, 40% multiplicative after consuming 5 corpses. Really strong node. Over here, guys, we're going to throw in Control. This is getting us a 20% multiplier. Now, that's against crowd-controlled enemies. So, obviously, you know, running in dungeons, wherever, we're getting that against all enemies. Now, you would think when you come to the boss, you know, it's not going to do any good, which ultimately it's not until you stagger the boss. Once they're staggered, then, you know, you get that 20% boost multiplier against them during that, you know, time frame. So, nice boosted damage right there. We're going to take Erudite right here, and we're going to take Targeted. Next board that we will come over into is going to be the Scent of Death board. Scent of Death is really good. You know, either gives us damage or damage reduction, depending on if there's corpses nearby or not. In this board, we're going to throw Abyssal. You and your minions deal 10% multiplicative increased damage. And since we are a Shadow Mage build, that gives them a nice multiplier. We're going to run that over. And, you know, I try to optimize this board, by the way, guys, as much as possible. So it's pretty well optimized overall. Anyways, those Shadow Resilience, Life, and Shadow Resistance, more maximum life. The next board we're going to come into will be the Bloodbath board. Run down here for Thick Hide, more life, damage while fortified in this area. Right here, we're going to throw the Exploit glyph. Just get the 25 dex with it, so we get the dealing damage to a vulnerable enemy. Increases your damage by 1%, you know, up to 10. The next board will be the Bone Graft board. Down here, we're going to put Essence. Just hit the 25 dex with this also. I haven't even leveled it up. It is at like 16, I think, 15. But definitely get that to 21, so you get that little bit of extra crit damage. Hit the 25 dex, and then you can see right there, you get a 22% multiplier with your critical strikes against enemies that are not healthy, which is below 80% health. So that's a nice damage boost for our minions. Over here, we're going to run and get Tenacity for maximum life and armor. And then the final board that we will come into will be the Wither board. On this board, we're going to throw in Scourge. You can see right there for the additional bonus. You and your minions deal 10% multiplicative increased damage to enemies affected by shadow damage over time effects. Now, like we talked about with the Blighted Corpse Explosion, that's dealing shadow damage over time to like everything all around because we're always setting it off. So we get this multiplier right here, which is nice. Malediction, and then Gloom. Hopefully this guide has been helpful, guys. There will be Tormented boss gameplay right now at the end if you want to go ahead and check that out. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. And if it has been helpful or you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and sub. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.